Hello there, world of tankers, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Burning Peak, and in today's video, we are going to be taking a look at the Waffle Panzer IV. This is one of the most dangerous tank destroyers in Tier 9, and I think in a decent player's hands is an absolute menace when played properly. Why? Well, first of all, it's got two really good gun options. You have a 12.8, which does, I think it's like 560 damage per shot. It's got really solid DPM, super good accuracy. And the majority of content creators out there are going to tell you that running the 128 on this vehicle is the best way to go. However, I'm not one of those people. I believe that frontline Waffle is the way to go. And that is exactly what we're going to be doing in today's video. We're going to be using the Waffle, a little bit passive early game. And then as the game progresses, we are going to move up and get some absolutely crazy snaps out. And you're going to see just why the Waffle is so dangerous with the 15 centimeter. Now, the tank has really good pen. With the standard ammo, oh, our game lagged there for a moment. With the standard ammo, it has 750 damage per shot with 246 mils of pen. So kind of mid, to be honest, for Tier 9. But the gold rounds have 334 mils of heat. That's pretty good. It's enough to cut through the majority of frontal armor that you will be aiming at. Now, you will have to be a little cautious about the shell velocity. 757 on the standard, 606 on the heat. It's pretty atrocious, and it means that when you're shooting at opponents that are, 300 plus meters away like that Charfuture 4, the chance of you actually hitting that shot is slim to none. But I've realized that my team is playing rather aggressive on the enemy heavies. They have a Super Conk, an M5 Yo, and I don't really want my teammates to get bled out. I want to try and help them. So what I'm going to do is frontline Waffle, and you're about to see just why this tank is so insane. So originally I was going to shoot heat, but I was like, wait a sec, the Conqueror features really, really good armor against heat shells, so I'm not going to actually bother loading heat. We're going to turn our turret backwards, we're going to make sure that we're not seen through the bush, aiming on his lower plate, and there you go. 728 hit points taken off of that Conqueror, and his game's basically over. He went from decently healthy to not really healthy at all. So now we have another shot loaded. Now in terms of my equipment loadout, we are running gun rammer. Wait a sec. Ooh, 671 slap into the enemy M6 Yo. But in terms of equipment, we are running gun rammer, we are running an aiming device, and I think exhaust, if I'm not mistaken, a bounty exhaust to get that increased camo. So we're aiming on the T95 hatch. Yep, there goes the T95. Just like that, we've been able to play frontline Waffle and absolutely obliterate the enemies. So we have the T125 spotted. We also have the 4005. However, I'm not able to hit the 4005 just because of the fact my gun elevation on this tank is limited when turning it to the rear. You have to turn side on to actually gain gun elevation when using the vehicle. So the E5 is obviously in a position where we're not able to hit him right now, but I know that the 4005 is somewhere in the back end. Oh, look at that. Charfuture 4 gets spotted. Well, thank you very much for your HP. That's now 2,800 damage dealt, and we're still chilling. I mean, it's just such a chill game right now. We haven't gotten spotted once by the enemy, and it really shows you where the camo values of this tank are just a little bit ridiculous. So unfortunately, my teammate dies, but we have the 4005 spotted in the back. He's going to start backing up. We're not going to allow that. 766 damage shell, and just like that, we're now up to 3,500. So, yeah, I mean, we've literally just absolutely annihilated the enemy from the spot we're sitting in. Now, we can see that the 183 is detected in the back, and it looks like he's going to poke. Now, with 248 mils of standard pen, the problem is the further the distance away, the less penetration we have. So, aiming it on this, 183, if he gets spotted again, it's going to be about a 50-50 chance whether we're actually able to pen him or not. We can see that the enemy Charfuture 4 is getting shot as well. I mean, right now the game's definitely going to be a win. You can see we're up by about 5,000 hit points, and the only chance the enemy really has at winning this would be if maybe that 183 or Char was able to get out some really good bleeds. But right now, it's definitely looking in our favor. We hold a much bigger amount of map control. So I'm going to cross a little bit over here. That way I can get a better angle. And there's the E5 running. I was very tempted to load a high explosive shell, but I decided instead I'm going to shoot the E5 in the track and back into cover. So there you go. We are now in cover. You ready for the artillery? Here it comes! Oh yeah! Look, both already trying to ruin my game there. As I always say, I find it very funny how all the arty players always come to the defense of arties in World of Tanks, saying, "Oh, we only shoot at, haul down heavies because those are the guys that are making the game unenjoyable, and that's what we're designed for." That's what you always see the arty players type in my comments. And then in reality, it's me in my Waffle. Also, I just literally love how I could not pen that 183 anywhere, but in the reality, it's me and my Waffle getting spotted, and 0.1 seconds later, 2 artillery instantly aiming in on me. Like, bruh, that's crazy. You have to think about that. Like, we were not spotted the entire game, so those arty had to literally turn their tanks and look immediately at me to try and get those shells out. That's pretty insane. But guess what? Even though we didn't hit our first shell on the 183, it doesn't matter too much at the end of the day because he's out of the game. So, just like that, we had a 5,000 damage result. We only got spotted once the entire game, and yeah, it was just a really, really easy game. At the end of the day, I think the Waffle is a fantastic Tier 9 tank destroyer. It's a vehicle that features a ridiculously dangerous gun, and we're going to use this right here for our thumbnail. I think that's a pretty good thumbnail. What do you guys think? Either way, I think the Waffle in general is one of the best tanks in the game, especially if you just want to get out these crazy snaps. The aiming time's a while, and we can see that here. And the on-movement dispersion it's pretty mediocre. I mean, there are definitely some moments where you're going to be like, yeah, okay, the gun's a little bit sussler. In fact, our second game brings us to Corellia, where you are going to see a stark difference between the gun's performance in our last battle and this one. We still do fine in this game and get a decent result, but you're going to see just how derpy the Waffenträger Panzer IV gun can be. Also, let me know if you like the minimap location right above me. I originally was not planning on having the minimap there, but I didn't really know where else to put it. And what I've done is I've literally cropped out a second display capture and then just thrown it and minimized it. So it's kind of cool actually up there, I think. It's a good location for the minimap. So hopefully you guys like that. Also, the light bulb at the top of our screen is bugged. Let me rewind a teeny bit on the replay. Let's see if that fixes it. There you go. And then I just need to change the minimap size again. Okay, we're all good. Let's put on our fast forward just a teeny bit so we can actually get into proper position here. So we got the Centurion. And I'm not going to shoot at the Centurion. I'm going to shoot at the Vipera. This is where that high alpha feels incredible. One shot into that Vipera, we light him on fire, and his game's basically over. And now we have another free shot on the Ag Tiger. Easy lead. Everything's perfect, and wow. The poor shell velocity of 700 paired with the fact that the dispersion itself just didn't love us there. That's so sad. I mean, that literally would have been 1700 damage dealt. But we have another chance. We're going to aim it on the Char. We're going to make sure that we have an easy shot, right? This is pretty easy here. We've led it perfectly. We shoot. It goes right above him. I mean, we could not have led that shell better. You can see it was perfectly on trajectory. The lead and everything was great, but unfortunately the shell went way too high. And it's, again, another great example of the Waffenträger Panzer IV's derpy style cannon not working all too well. Our dispersion is surprisingly 0.29, and watching those two shots, you'd think it's more like 0.34, but yeah, it's 0.29. But at that distance, paired with the awful shell velocity, it just seems like your accuracy doesn't want to love you. But, oh well. There's not much you can do about it. So, obviously, there's nothing we're going to be able to do to the enemy heavies or anything in front of us there. So, instead, we are going to make our way up top the hill with the Renegade. We can see that there are still quite a few vehicles that were over on this flank that managed to run away. So, maybe we'll get some crossing shots into them. Oh, there's one of them leaving right now, the enemy Centurion 1. Well, maybe, just maybe, we'll be able to get a shell into the set. Gets bled out a bit. He's now down to 500 health. Our Renegade shoots at him. He misses, and we're going to aim it on his vehicle. Renegade's almost blocking our shot, but we we are able to squeeze it into the Centurion, dealing 519 damage and putting us into 1400 delt. Okay, we got the Lorraine spotted in the open. We're going to aim in, but we are not able to hit that Lorraine. I saw that tree fall down. By the way, kind of crazy that we got spotted there. That is a little insane. We just take a quick snap at the Lorraine because might as well, right? If it had hit, that would have been half of his health gone. But it's fine. It's fine. The lightweight is not enjoying life right now. And ka-chunk, goodbye. Not only do we kill the lightweight, but we kill him in a glorious ammo rack. Too bad it was only 700 damage. Well, we're up to 2200 delt now, and there's only a few tanks left on the enemy team, really. I mean, we can't shoot any of the heavies on the A1 area. They are all the way off in China, so there's no way we're going to be able to shoot them. But what we can do is aim it over here on the UDES 03. Told my teammate, I got the UDES, don't worry about him, and bye-bye. There you go. UDES is out of the game. We did get spotted, not exactly sure by what. Maybe the ELC, but I don't think it would have been the ELC. I'm actually rather surprised we did get spotted, to be real. We're going to aim it on the E75. Easy shot, fully aimed in. Screen not penned. I don't know where it hit to not pen. My guess is that it hit the E75's tracks, but I don't know why it would say screen and not tracks. But either way, we got another shot. Ricochet. Wow. 2 shells on the flat side of an E75, tracked, not moving in the open. 0.29 dispersion, and yet our shell misses. It's a fantastic example of where this gun can feel incredibly unfortunate. If we were running the 128 here, we definitely would have been better off. But when the gun does hit, it still does chunk like a frickin' truck. I mean, that was 730 damage, and he's out of the game. So now we have the object 704 in front of us, and 704 is backing up, easy shell onto his vehicle. Doesn't even hit. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I was quite disappointed with the Waffle this game. Like, I'm not gonna lie, we did alright. You know, 3,600 damage is not a bad result at all. But here we go, another easy shot. Doesn't even hit. I mean, bro! That's so disappointing. As I said, we have 0.29 dispersion on our loadout with this tank, so it's not like we're sitting here with awful accuracy values. I don't know what to say. I was really, really disappointed when we not only missed the shell on the Ag Tiger, then missed the shell on the Charfute Chair 4, but then proceeded to miss 2 shells on the flat side of a stationary E75 and 2 shells on basically a stationary 704. I mean, we could have done 55, 6,000 damage this game, but because our gun royally screwed us, we were definitely missing out on a lot of damage. But, oh well. That's one of the downsides of having alpha. So let me know what you guys think about the Waffle in the comments. Do you think that this is a good take? Do you think you should run the 128 or the 15 centimeter? Personally, I'm going to be using the 15. Yeah, I know the 128 probably has more use cases, and most people are going to go into the comments and say, well, the 128 would have done better in that battle. Which is true, but it wouldn't have done better in the previous game due to my alpha damage being a better hindrance to the enemy. I like alpha, and I'm willing to trade a bit of accuracy and some of my RNG to hit people for a bigger chunk, and we still did pretty good in both games. So at the end of the day, I can't really get all too mad at the take. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. If you'd like to see more like it, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.